and looking at the head coach matchup briefly, Terrell Robinson in his 13th season. He's a A&T grad, and then Michelle Clark-Hurd in her first season coming from Western Kentucky, 1-2, and she's trying to get on track in her first year.
Yeah, and she knows that she can make a presence on this team. I mean, for NCAA tournaments, when she was at Western Kentucky, she's looking to bring in this new team, 4 international players, 5 freshmen, 8 transfers. She's looking to instill her brand of basketball in this game here at Mercer. Her first season, she's got plenty of time to do it. We've already seen some bright flashes.
For A&T in their last game, they took on North Carolina, ranked 14th in the country, and lost 66-47. So saw some very high competition, and it was actually A&T's Locke, Paris Locke, who led the way with 15 points in that one. We're underway here in Macon, moving quickly. Aspen Johnson gets her first touch going up top. Talia Harris, the guard, freshman from Fishers, Indiana. Locke posting up in the middle. She's got the size advantage in her matchup going up against Gianna Curtis, picked outside. Johnson, redshirt sophomore, goes to her right hand, has Paris Locke on her. The pass gets knocked. Going to the left, shot clock winding down. Bennett off the top of the glass and in.
Yeah, and Bennett's going to be an important component in this game. The other side of Ashley Locke, those 2 forwards. Bennett been a little bit shut down as of late, but she's been great recently here, of course, to start the easy layup.
A&T's starting lineup, Jordan Dorsey, the player to watch. Gianna Curtis, you see there, just took that shot. Rebound grabbed down by Diarra. Matched up right now with Dorsey. She's from Augusta, Georgia, in her home state right now. Johnson back up top. Bennett handing off. Diarra to the left hand, kicks outside. Johnson from deep off the iron. Now it's the other Locke. Here's Mercer's starting 5. Locke at the 5, Ariana Bennett playing the 4, and then you got Harris at the 3 for the bigger players. Backcourt, Aspen Johnson and Diarra as Johnson gets brought down, and we'll get our first foul of the game.
Yeah, and lots of deep possessions here, deep into the shot clock. Mercer trying to find something, but a very handsy defense coming in from North Carolina A&T. They've been everywhere. I mean, we saw Bennett stop right at the 3-point line, and just every pass option was covered. Now Mercer gets a reset with 20 seconds here.
Well, you hear it so often. Coach say active hands, active hands. Seeing that early, trying to generate some turnovers. Goes for a foul there. Curtis gets her first. Inside for Locke. Gets stripped. Nice defensive play from Paris Locke. Goes off Dorsey. Now a trailing 3 and a foul called against the Locke. I think we're going to see Clark shoot 3.
Yeah, Locke there slow to get up after the ball was stripped away from her. That's kind of what we saw last game against Western Kentucky for these Mercer Bears. Locke was just swarmed anytime she got the ball. There, 2 North Carolina A&T players swarm her. When she goes to the ground, can't get back up and has to commit the foul on the back end.
She's only had 3 free throw opportunities on the season. She was 2 for 3. Now she's 3 for 4, is 62% shooter from the line. Misses the second, but for a big, she's got a nice shooting stroke. 6'4", redshirt junior out of Fort Myers, Florida. Gonna have her hands full with Ashley Locke in the middle. She misses the second. Pushing up, Johnson. Cross court, Diarra. Thought about the corner 3, drives the baseline, fading away. She's blocked by Clark. Pushing up the court, Pace. Clark up on the layup, no good. Locke takes another board. Diarra tries to push the pace. Slows it down, and Mercer's going to work from the half court, a 2-1 lead for the Bears right now. Like I said, both these teams under 60 points a game on average. Mercer the better shooting team, 41% from the field, 42% give and go. Harris, lefty shot, clinks away. Locke nearly with the offensive board, but grabbed away. Paris Locke inside, Raven Douglas trying to get the open shot, takes the layup, she misses. Diarra running the other way. A quick pace right now to this one. Diarra gets swatted. Clark now down the court. Locke, the other one. No good on the layup. Passed away, and Johnson is going to take it back for Mercer. Their first two substitutions await going in, and Stephanie Utomi, as well as Chelsea Batista. Harris looking for a bucket. Mercer scoreless in the last 2.5 minutes. Harris pulls up. No good. Clark, another board.
Good pick and pop there. Had open space. Harris, who's coming off a career game for her, 9 points, just couldn't get it to fall.
Right now, just these two teams are cold shooting to start. Both Tides looking for something to get going. Dorsey hasn't taken a shot yet. Inside for Clark. Locke perfectly defended. Stays straight up. Johnson takes it down. Another turnover. Rebounds and boards are the story right now. Turnover number 4 for Mercer. None right now for A&T, but just can't get the shot to fall. They finally do. Paris Locke.
Yeah, and Locke's got the interesting size, just 6 foot, but plays that forward position. And she really has a nice stroke to her jump shot there. Just spots up, gets it to fall after the kiss off the glass.
1 for 6 is A&T. 1 for 4 from the field for Mercer. Into the corner for Johnson. Goes cross court. Back inside. Bennett driving, defended in the post. Rebounds right now, 7 for Mercer, 3 for A&T. Dorsey slowing things down, getting orders from Coach Terrell Robinson. Over a decade spent with the Bulldogs. Dorsey to the right, uses the speed, and Locke gets another foul. And that one will take us to a break. A&T up 3-2, making 3-2 A&T up. And now we'll welcome in the third member of our team, Kennedy Jenkins. What you got?
To both head coaches before the start of the game. Coach Hurd is really just looking to get back in the win column. She wants to practice consistency and efficient scoring, getting rebounds, and really crashing the glass this game. Coach Robinson, he's hoping to get in the win column. They're 0-3 right now, but they're hoping to get a win under their belt tonight.
Dorsey was good on the first. Made it a 4-2 game. A&T up. Collins now in with Batista as well. Kayla Smith subbed in, the junior from Lakeland, Florida. She gets it from Diarra. Over for Batista. And Santo Domingo in the DR. Trying to get it to the corner. Shot clock winding down. Collins kicks it out. Deep 3. Gets it off in time. No good. Grabbed down by the Bears, and they're saying it's out. Going to go with the Bulldogs.
And now, after that possession, Mercer hasn't scored in over 5 minutes. They came out hot very quickly, got an early bucket, but since then, it's been nothing.
They scored 20 or 32, actually, seconds into this game. Since then, have not been able to get it through the hoop. Kicks inside, intercepted. Delaney Yarbrough now playing the 5 spot for A&T. Collins, pull up Jay inside the paint. Rebounded, pulled up, and a foul called, as going up on the basket was the freshman Stephanie Utomi.
And Utomi getting a lot of time. We saw her come in late last game versus Western Kentucky and really make a difference. So here, getting rewarded from head coach Michelle Clark-Hurd with her time early in this one.
Utomi hits the first, was 50% from the line. With that one, she goes 2 for 3. Averaging 3 points on the year so far. Very early into this season. Both teams just 3 games in and looking to get back in the win column. The pass inside, up and in. Nice layup from Kiana Curtis.
Yeah, and Bautista there for the Mercer Bears, just overcommitting. When you're the last one back, you can't try and jump a pass lane like that. Have to stay on your man instead. Tried to get the turnover. Costly mistake.
Mercer 0 for their last 6 field goal attempts. They need to just see one go in. There's a lid on the basket right now. Diarra drives the baseline, kicks it outside, but was tapped by her own teammate in Utomi. Now Dorsey pushing the pace, Euro step. Can't get the layup to fall, taken back by the Bears.
And for Diarra, who really runs the point for this team when it's not Collins who has the ball right now, 4 turnovers in less than 8 minutes played.
And she's got a seat on the bench right now. Turnovers are 5-1. Joe, right now, the Bulldogs are just taking better care of the ball.
Yeah, they've really just any time a Mercer Bear has gotten in the paint where they like to work, they've just closed in, swallowed everything up. We've seen a lot of baseline drives turn into turnovers off kicked passes. Really just mistakes from the Mercer Bears, and that's what head coach Michelle Clark-Hurd hates. She'll want to clean that up, and right now she's got the best player on her team on the bench, Locke, with 2 fouls.
Bautista at the top of the key. Over for Diarra, back in, and Bautista gets rejected. Dorsey now. It's kicked over and going to the rack. Douglas unsuccessful and out of bounds. It's going to stay on this end of the floor in a substitution with Talia Harris, who did start, got her first start in this game, checks back in.
And as we mentioned, that was really credit given to her for her 9-point performance last game, scoring all 9 in the second half, leading the bench.
Free ball on the ground, going to wrap it up. Gritty play from Utomi to get the jump ball.
And that's how you get playing time as a freshman. Plays like that, dive for every ball. That's why Utomi is being rewarded early in the season with time in this game.
Her twin sister, Stacy, on the team as well. The 2 from Detroit, Michigan. And see back on the offensive. Dorsey whipping it around for Douglas. Gives it right back. One-on-one battle with Harris. Picks up her dribble, didn't have an option, and Yarborough under the hoop, up and in.
Yarborough, just such an important part to this North Carolina A&T team. You can go from Clark, the center, 6'4", down to Yarborough, just dropping an inch. The junior has been impressive. Transfer from Stony Brook, really showing how powerful she can be down low.
Averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds on the year. Puts into so far. Minute 42 left in the first quarter. Bautista backing down, spins. Unsuccessful again on the fadeaway hook. Dorsey goes to the right. Whipped around, good ball movement, setting up a 3 from Locke. No good. Yarborough offensive board and the bucket.
Yeah, and Bautista there for the Mercer Bears had gotten switched off. So she was all the way out near that 3-point line, couldn't get down to help on the defensive rebound. Instead, an easy offensive board and finish for Yarborough.
And A&T has only 3 points off turnovers right now, and I'd say that's pretty lucky for Mercer so far in this game, considering how they've been turning the ball over early.
Yeah, 5 turnovers here early. I mean, they average around 20 per game. This is a normal pace for them, and for that, that's something you really want to clean up, something we've heard from Coach Clark-Hurd they want to work on, and here it isn't showing early. Need to see better ball control, because if North Carolina A&T hits their stride, it's going to be a much different game.
If you're not taking care of the ball, you got to be winning the rebound margin, and right now that's just about even, and that's given A&T the upper hand. Under a minute left in the first quarter. It's been all Bulldogs, 10-3, up by 7. And finally, there's the drought ending at last. Ariana Bennett with the jumper.
A 9-minute drought finally cutting into it. Bennett adding on some more points to her total tonight.
They were held without a field goal. They got that 1 point to make it 10-3, but are still one of their last 9 field goal attempts, as Diarra is going to head to the bench. Aspen Johnson checks back into this game.
Yeah, Bennett scoring the opening points for the Bears, and now what could be the closing points, not something you want when that total is just 4 on her stat line.
And A&T hasn't shot much better. That's why it's just 10-5 at the end of the first. This could have gone a lot worse for the Mercer Bears. 3 seconds left. Going to try and take the last shot. Doesn't get it on the layup. Miss by Harris. And that's the end of the first quarter. And North Carolina, A&T leading the way, up by 5 against the Bears after 1. Keys for the game.
And for Mercer, it was to start out hot. That was the #1 key to the game. In the past 2 games, they've been outscored by 18 in the first quarter. Now they've failed starting out here a little bit slow, down 5. Unlock Ashley Locke. She right now sits on the bench, 2 personal fouls. It'll be important to see how she evolves in this game. Involve the forwards if you are North Carolina A&T, and be aggressive defensively. And guess what? They've accomplished that early.
They definitely have, generating 6 turnovers, but there's a big bucket for the Bears and an and-one opportunity for Stephanie Utomi.
Yeah, Utomi, one of the most aggressive physical players on this team. Just the baseline drive, an excellent job to get it down low. You can see that half spin, takes it the short way, and a good finish and a chance at 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Utomi with 3 points already. Now she makes it 4 with 2 rebounds and an assist. And just like that, after, like you said, Joe, a slow start in the first quarter, it's only a 2-point game. Curtis gets swarmed, and now it's Mercer who causes a turnover. Kayla Smith with the handle. Her junior season, standing at 5'11". Gets it over Talia Harris. Coach Clark Hurd not afraid to get her freshman some reps. Aspen Johnson pulls up right around the hoop, just short. Going after that offensive rebound, and there's another gritty play. Dorsey is able to pull it away. Possible numbers for A&T, but good recovery from Mercer to get back on defense. Jessup is going to take the long one. Grabbed down by Utomi.
And Mercer here switching to a 3-2 zone. This is something we saw a bit when they played Western Kentucky, and they had a lot more success with it. So starting to run with that.
Stolen by Dorsey. Another turnover for the Bears and an easy fast break bucket.
Yeah, just miscommunication there. Thought they had the drop pass. Instead, spacing out was Harris, and that ball all for the Aggies.
Dorsey, leading scorer for A&T, 20 points per game on the season. Harris on the ball. Has not put any points on the board just yet so far in this one. Kicked inside, Bennett puts the post moves on and lays it in.
And Bennett's going to have to step up with Locke having 2 personal fouls. She's going to be the main forward on this team. An excellent half spin, creating room down low, and a good finish off the glass.
Once again, A&T leads by 2. Neither of these teams great from beyond the arc. Curtis trying to open up inside, poked away by Harris, goes off of the Bears, and more substitutions come in. We see Hannah Knoll for the first time here today, and Aaliyah Collins back in.
I think going to Knoll is a purposeful move here from Clark Hurd. She's seen how much space that North Carolina A&T is giving at the 3-point line, not trusting the shooting of the Mercer Bears. Knoll, perhaps the best 3-point shooter on this Bears team.
Knoll shoots 21% from 3 so far on the year. Clark, mid-range, doesn't go. Grabbed down by Batista with the help of Aspen. Gets it to Collins, who's running the point. Mercer, not usually a 3-point shooting team. 14% from behind the arc on the year. A&T not much better, 26%. Hitting that a little higher clip. Collins off of the pick. Getting swarms. Has a second defender. Now Bennett late in the shot clock, and a foul going on at Shania Clark.
And again, good from Bennett. A nice drive going into the body of Clark. An excellent job to draw the foul. As you can see, takes it off the dribble right here, forcing that contact with her shoulder. Not too much, but enough for the whistle and a chance at 2 from the charity stripe.
Brings Bennett to the line. 66% from the line on the year, averaging 5 a game. And 3 rebounds as she makes the first from Edwardsville, Illinois, coming a long way to play in Macon.
Yeah, transfer. She started her career at Southwestern Illinois, getting a little bit change of scenery. This was someone that head coach Clark Hurd was very excited about. And so far today, proving her presence down low.
So Bennett takes a seat after 2 points at the line, tied up 12-12. This is a dream right now for the Bears, who started out 1 of 9 from the field after the first 30 seconds of this game. Howard inside, jump ball generated by Aspen, and Mercer takes over possession.
And Mercer was excellent defensively to start. I mean, you trailed by 5, but 10 points in the first quarter you'll always take. And now switching to this 3-2 zone, North Carolina A&T hasn't had anything.
Stolen away by Knoll. Collins on a fast break, pulls up and lays it in.
Collins, a starting guard on this team, usually coming off the bench today, and that's why her speed has been an excellent factor on this team. Runs the floor like no one else, an easy finish for her.
From College Station, Texas, transferred from Incarnate Word. On the other end, Clark, nearly taken by Collins, but kicked back. Douglas on the ball. Right now, Dorsey on the bench, taking a rest, but she's waiting to get back in. Deep one from Paris Locke. She's good.
And we mentioned not your usual forward, able to drift out, find herself there. About 21 feet. Easy three-point shot for her. The first time we've seen anything from beyond the arc fall.
The triple ends a 6-0 run. Collins, mid-range, gets a friendly bounce.
And Collins, interesting to see not start, but making some noise off the bench. This team loves their bench. 35 bench points versus Western Kentucky, outscoring the starters. They don't care who starts. As long as you produce, you'll be on the floor.
Right now, already 8 players off the bench with points for Mercer. Clark gets denied. Good defense from Ashley Locke, who's back in right now. And Dorsey is going to check back in for A&T.
And a great job from Locke to just go straight up. Knows she has help side. The help comes over. Good defensive stand from her to not get a personal foul there and get the block that eventually rolls out of bounds.
Dorsey not popping off on the score sheet right now. 3 points, but 2 rebounds and 2 assists, doing all the right things. Collins. Knoll from deep, tries to answer the 3. Batista has it poked away by Clark. Now Dorsey. Back to being the main ball handler. Hesitates. Throws a high one to the other side. Paris Locke, who just hit that 3. See if she's got the hot hand. Dorsey inside for Clark against Locke. She's already in foul trouble. Doesn't get a foul there. Gets the block instead. And we'll take that into the break. Mercer coming back after that first quarter. 4:35 left in the second quarter. 16-15. And the Bears have started to find their footing after a slow start.
Yeah, flipping the script here, and the difference 4 for 6 from the field in this one, in this second quarter, after going just 2 of 11 in the first. So major difference here as offensive foul ends their possession early, and North Carolina A&T a chance to take the lead back.
Yeah, they're calling that against Aspen Johnson on the offensive foul. Gives it right back to the Bulldogs with the chance to take the lead. Four lead changes so far in this one. Dorsey inside. With a big matchup with Yarborough as she got called on the travel. Just some happy feet there.
And I love this matchup that we're seeing up top between Collins and Dorsey. Collins really just the most aggressive defender. as we'll have a whistle here.
And it seemed like an incidental whistle. They were trying to whistle for the substitution, but it was a little late. The ball had already been passed in.
Collins was already ready to run the floor, but we'll get the substitution.
Collins stopped mid-dribble and then had to restart, and the official said, okay, we'll restart at this spot. So some confusion there for the players. Johnson, guarded by Paris Locke. Batista kicking it around inside for Ashley Locke. Hook shot doesn't go. Hasn't found her shot just yet here. Steals it right back. The Bears with it. Collins has 4 points, 2 for 3. Has nowhere to go right now. Trying to extend their lead. Ariana Bennett waiting to come in. Collins has been holding on to this ball. Now 7 seconds. Nice cut. Aspen Johnson.
Thing of beauty there. A piece of artwork between Collins. A great bounce pass down low. Johnson saw her the whole time, ran the floor, and then got the baseline drive, eventually receiving the ball in a good layup.
Bears passes it inside. Up and a foul called as Jordan Dorsey lowered the shoulder. That one going against Batista, just her first.
And again, a good job of finding contact, this time in favor of North Carolina A&T. Dorsey, a good job of really driving in hard with that shoulder. Batista did her best to kind of pull the chair, let Dorsey fall, but the contact enough for the whistle and a chance at 2 from the line.
First one good for Dorsey. See another look at the foul.
You can see Dorsey receives it, shot fake, and just a good job of working down low.
Had 12 points against North Carolina, makes the second. Opened the season with 23 and 26, both in opening losses, as A&T still looking for that first win.
And it must be nice to set your career high and then break it the very next game. 23 tied it, 26 broke it again.
Just keep on raising the bar in her senior season. Locke, 0 for 1. She's only taken 1 shot in the paint. See if they get her another look. Tries to kick it outside, but the bigs inside for A&T have been swarming her and making her job really tough. Now Dorsey's on the end. Yarborough goes down and hits the deck. Dorsey finds a lane. Now she's in no man's land. Behind the hoop in the corner, takes the 3 off the mark. Douglas with the offensive board.
Lots of scrappy basketball here between the Bears and the Bulldogs. Both fighting for these offensive boards.
Swatted away. A block from Ariana Bennett.
And you mentioned it might be a defensive game. I don't think you would be this right. These defenses in the paint, both these teams like to work down low, but the bigs not allowing it to happen. A huge block there from Bennett.
You can tell A&T is making an effort to get to the rack as soon as they can. Once again, going inside Yarborough, letting her work against Locke. She's already in a little bit of foul trouble, and Dorsey didn't notice the shot clock.
Yeah, that time the shot didn't hit any of the rims, so shot clock does not reset, and that's the reason for the buzzer and the Mercer ball.
We talked about that Mercer drought that lasted a lot of the first quarter. Well, now we got to talk about A&T scoreless over their last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Collins with it for Mercer. Turnovers now have evened out a little bit more. 9 for Mercer, 7 for the Bulldogs. Diarra back in. Locke just has not been able to get open on the post. Driving to the left hand to Smith. Corner, Diarra. Now she goes to Locke, and there's another shot clock violation on the other end.
Yeah, these defenses just swarming. No good shots. Eventually you have to put something up if you're one of these teams. I would like to see them shoot the 3 more. A couple open looks, not super open, but you have a foot or 2 of space. Sometimes you have to let it fly, trust your shot.
You can tell it's not an area that Mercer feels confident in taking those shots. Also, Joe, they used the whole shot clock almost every single possession.
Yeah, Mercer playing slower. They love their track meets. They love to get out and run, but in this game, trying to slow it down, feeling like they can size up their opponents. So far, working just a bit in their favor, but would love to see some more threes.
Pull up from Dorsey. She takes your advice. No good. Hard hit off the iron. Collins sends it down the floor. Caught by Kayla Smith. Has to pull it out. Now go back in. Utomi. Used the shoulder, but grabbed away. Back in Shania Clark. Now at center with Yarborough and her in a rotation. Spin from Dorsey. No good. Was trying to do it all herself. As it makes sense, she always has a green light for the Bulldogs.
And she had a great move, a good spin, got past her defender, but help came and closed her out quite quickly. Tough shot, couldn't convert.
Final 30 seconds of what's been a gritty first half here in Macon. Utomi carries it out. Diarra tried to cut down the baseline, pull up. Utomi too short. Elliott Jessup takes it down the floor, settles it now for A&T, picks up the dribble. Good pressure from Collins. 5 seconds on the clock. Trying to get the final shot. She bobbles it. 1 second now, and the awareness wasn't there, but a swarming defense for Mercer there.
Yeah, it's been all defense all day so far, and we'll see if that keeps in the second half. Right now, the Mercer Bears on top, and it's credit to that defense down low across the three-point arc. They've had hands everywhere, and it's been an amazing game defensively for both teams.
Suffocating defenses on both sides for the Bulldogs and the Bears. Fun one so far from Hawkins Arena at the half. We'll take a break with Mercer in the lead. Minute away from the second half here at Hawkins Arena in Macon, Georgia. Nick Kloss, Joe Kopshow, Kennedy Jenkins, our team here today. And Mercer with a slim lead in a very defensive matchup here. But they led with Ariana Bennett. She got the start, took her a little bit to get going, took a little bit for this whole offense to get going. But then, Joe, she was able to help out with 8 points. And then, like you said, they like their bench production as well for Mercer.
Yeah, Mercer goes to bench almost like no other team in the SoCon. Of course, mentioned last game, 35 bench points outscoring the starters. It really is just a rotation of 12 players for Mercer. You might get the starting nod, you might get that star next to your name, but whoever performs is going to be out on the floor. And really, Clark Hurd, head coach Clark Hurd, doesn't really have a preference for starters or bench. As long as you are doing well like Bennett is, you're going to find time playing. And Bennett started this season off well, has since kind of taken a back seat to Locke, but here showing out again with 8 points early.
Yeah, she's looking good. 2 rebounds to go with it. Also 1 block. Locke does have 2 blocks to go with her 2 boards. One of those offensive. The offensive rebounding in this one heavily in A&T's favor, 6-2 in 7 second chance points on putbacks. Underway in the second half. Pull up from Aspen Johnson from deep. Clanks out. Dorsey grabs it. Pulls it up. Moving. Curtis. Swatted by Aspen. And saying Aspen Johnson touched it and stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, and we mentioned coming out of the half, the three-point shot going to be the difference in this game. What team will establish it first? Mercer trying there early with a 3 from Johnson. Just missed.
Right now, collectively, as Curtis goes up, gets disrupted by Locke, and a foul called against Aspen Johnson. Curtis on the other end. But right now, in total, we'll see the foul again.
Yeah, and Johnson just on the reach in. It won't be on the shot, so we'll have an inbound, but you can see trying to get the tie up just a bit too handsy.
Pull up from deep, at least for Clark, with how she resides in the paint. Curtis grabs it from the ground and puts it up.
And again, another offensive board leading to points. Like you mentioned, A&T leading that category. Get another one there.
Another lead change here. They go back and forth. That's number 6. Actually, number 5 on the matchup. Going back to Bennett. Leads all scorers with 8 points. And posts up against Curtis. Johnson works the baseline, and a foul called this time against A&T.
And you can see these teams still just feeling each other out. ANC putting points on the board, but of course, off an offensive rebound that was created by Chaos, players falling. These teams still unable to get clean looks off the dribble or off passes.
A foul on each team here early in the second half. Diarra gets it back from Collins. Collins did not start, but since then has been the primary ball handler. Pull up from Collins just inside three-point line. Doesn't go. She tries to get the board and pokes it out. A&T takes over possession.
And I think the reason Collins is getting this playing time is because of how she matches up against Dorsey. Dorsey with a 4-inch height advantage, but the way Collins plays defense, she can match up with her very, very well. It'll be that combination of Diarra and Collins on Dorsey, who they've successfully done a great job so far.
Yeah, 5 points for Dorsey right now, and 3 of them have come from the free throw line. Douglas floats one up and in.
And that time a good switch, getting Collins on her back foot. A drive lock, not coming in time to get that help.
Lock into the middle. She's battling with Shania Clark, redshirt junior out of Fort Myers, Florida. It's 6'4" against 6'3" in the middle. Collins quick off the dribble, blocked by Dorsey. Transition offense for A&T. Dorsey goes, pull up from the charity stripe. Short off the front of the iron. Aspen Johnson had Collins streaking, takes it to the rack herself and draws the foul.
Yeah, lucky to get the foul there. The play was to drop it off to Collins after drawing the defender. Instead, a little bit selfish, however, getting the whistle and a chance for 2 at the line.
They'll sub in Kayla Smith and Celia Harris.
As you can see, running the floor, Johnson, she has Collins wide open after the charges tried to be drawn by Douglas. Instead, a block. Should have been a drop pass. Instead, she'll have to get it the hard way at the line.
Johnson's first trip to the free throw line today. Gets the first. Cash there. Over 15%, 4 of 6 on the year from the stripe. Misses the second. Grabbed down by Curtis. Douglas moves it quickly, gets it to Dorsey as soon as she can. Has Paris Locke. No good from Clark and goes out of bounds. 7:22 left in the third, and now Smith will come in. Harris came in first, and Aspen Johnson comes out. She was the one shooting the free throws during that substitution. Johnson on the inbound. Dorsey goes back for Clark, who likes to shoot from the elbow. Dorsey, Bennett switch on. A&T up by 2. Locke to the middle. Pulls up over the top of Ashley Locke.
Lock on lock crime, a good job of creating space. Locke thought she was going to take one more dribble. Instead, North Carolina A&T's Locke takes the pop shot.
Currently the largest lead of the game for A&T, and in general, Ashley Locke goes to her right hand and gets the contact. She'll head to the line.
Yeah, we saw a 7-point lead early, but since then, it's been neck and neck the whole game. And out of half, North Carolina A&T starting to claw in front. They've done well on the offensive side. It's been slow happening, but they've been successful bringing up that percentage and having good opportunities as Locke tries to break the barrier on the basket she's faced.
First one doesn't get a good bounce.
As you can see, Locke eventually catching it down low, just able to use her physicality. Defenders collapsing on her, getting up in her arms, leads to 2 free throws.
1 for 2 from the line. That was her first trip. First time drawing a foul.
And now if you're the Mercer Bears, you just hope that leads to more from Ashley Locke, breaking it open, her first points of the game.
may break that seal that's been on the hoop for Ashley Locke here today. Been doing a lot of different stuff still. Getting 2 blocks, as well as an assist, 2 rebounds. But they need her to be a little bit better than just 2 boards sitting here in the third quarter. Middle's been dominated by A&T. Douglas too strong on the mid-range. Harris with it, wearing that mask. One of the clear masks covering the nose and around the eyes. Trying to find an opening. Ashley Locke is calling for that ball in the middle and calling a 3-second violation on her.
Yeah, and she wants to get involved, and that's really the game plan. What I would actually like to see is earlier in this season, Mercer didn't care who took the ball up the floor. They've trusted anyone on the floor to take the ball up. I would like to see that from Ashley Locke again. Her run the point. She had a great touch early in the season. They've gone away from that, and she's just outsized in this one. Shania Clark, just an inch or 2 taller. They've really been forcing her out of the paint and not giving her open looks.
Clark and Yarborough have both given her trouble. Yarborough's matching her at 6'3", but when you got 2 bigs, they got fresh legs a little longer, as now a foul going against Kayla Smith and sends A&T to the line, and someone you don't want to send to the line in Dorsey.
Yeah, Dorsey, high conversion percentage coming into today, about 850 from the free throw line, There you can see crashes into Smith, and a good opportunity to increase the lead to the biggest it's been since the first quarter.
First one's good for Dorsey.
All right, fans, we got a little Christmas crew.
Averaging just over 20 points a game. Also 3.7 rebounds, good on the second. Harris, pressure coming from A&T over the half court, seeing if they can turn over Mercer a little more. Getting around, Diarra gets free. Matched up with Dorsey, now Harris again. She's running the point with both Diarra and Collins on the bench. Locke has to take an off-balance shot. Nothing was there, and it seems like this A&T defense is just causing so many issues for Mercer right now.
Yeah, and it's at every level. Clark, very physical down low. That, of course, gets Locke out of her game, and then the guards, an excellent job guarding the three-point line, no open shots. And on drives, it always just seems like there's a 6th Bulldog there. Somehow a 6th Bulldog appears able to guard the baseline, able to guard any kind of drive. They've done an excellent job of just faking and feigning extra players in defense that's not really there.
Curtis sends it into the post, tries to lob the high one for Clark, but doesn't connect. Halfway through the third quarter, we'll take a break. A&T up.
The Aggies have done a very good job of limiting the Bears on offense by being aggressive on the glass and rebounding and forcing the shot clock violations. When on defense, they have managed to stay in the game despite their 0-3 record. We'll see if the Aggies can put up their first win of the season or if the Bears will fight for the win at home.
Thank you, Kennedy. Now from the corner, Smith goes long on the 3. A&T going the other way. Elliott Jessup, the freshman from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Kicking it out. Harris Locke nearly has it stolen, but now Jessup's going to take the 3. Can't connect. Still only 1 3 scored in this game by A&T. Collective 1 for 12 after that. Diarra has a pull-up mid-range, no good.
Yeah, and an 8-2 run here for North Carolina A&T. Of course, trailed going into half. Since then, Mercer only scoring 2 out of the half. North Carolina A&T a bit more success.
Dorsey, Collin plays for the Bulldogs. Underhand layup, what a move by Dorsey.
And the emergence of Dorsey is why North Carolina A&T has this lead. She now leads in every statistical category of importance, of major importance for the Bulldogs.
9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for Jordan Dorsey out of Augusta, Georgia in her senior season. Bulldogs out of the CAA, Bears out of the SoCon. Batista will take a seat, as well as the freshman and Stephanie Atome.
And now if you're the Mercer Bears, it's about how do you stop the bleeding? A 10-2 run, need to cut into it a little bit. A hard collision there, the reason we've got a bit of a pause as we clean up the hardwood. But these two teams going at it physically, the Mercer Bears need to find something here. As you can see, already a new look as they guard the guards up the floor.
Ashley Locke is Mercer's most efficient player by far from the floor, as a pull-up from deep. Curtis couldn't get it there. I feel like the Bears, Joe, just have to find a way to get Ashley Locke in this game. Bennett was also hitting shots pretty well. She stands at 6'1". That gave them some leverage inside. Got Yarborough marking up with her right now in the middle. Diarra tries to float it over. And actually, that was Harris, excuse me. Jordan Dorsey running the point. And like you said, Joe, she's really emerged. She's still 2 of 8 from the field, so trying to find that stroke. Pass inside, intercepted and knocked away. It's intended for Yarborough, but Diarra brings it back. Locke towards the hoop, and a nice find by Diarra. Locke with the finish.
And her first bucket of the night was 0 for 1. Of course, had that free throw, but now maybe things start to go together for her. And with the press we've been seeing from the Bulldogs, would love to see her involved, bring the ball up the court. We'll see how the Bears play it and how North Carolina responds.
Only 4 assisted baskets here today for Mercer. A miss there from Locke. Dorsey gets the putback. Dorsey, the first player in double figures now with 11 points. Goes along 5 boards. He'll be on double-double watch. Diarra up at the top. It's Bennett. Tries to go into the post. Called a kick ball on Jordan Dorsey. Collins checking in now for Mercer.
And call me old school, but if I'm Bennett, I'm shooting the 3. I don't care what my skill set is. If you give me 10 feet of space at the 3-point line, I'm going to take it. There, Clark Curry telling her the same thing. Knows it's not her game, but at some point it has to become it.
Here's Collins. She had plenty of room for the 3, but dribbles into trouble. Taken away by Yarborough. The lack of 3-point shooting causing an issue here for Mercer as Dorsey goes through everyone. But there's Yarborough poking it outside for the offensive board. Locke hands it off. Offensive rebounding has been huge for A&T. 10 offensive boards now compared to just 2 for the Bears. Going inside, Locke on a nice pass. Can't complete the layup. Gets it right back. Another offensive board and a foul. Going against A&T, gives it to the Bears.
Yeah, and a couple good opportunities down low. The original opportunity here comes from Locke, and it's because she got the switch on Collins. You can see a huge size mismatch there, 7 inches. But Locke, even with space, couldn't finish. The second attempt doesn't fall, and eventually called for the extra arm reach in there, and Mercer Bears will go the other way.
Bulldogs continuing their pressure on Mercer. Been able to cause a lot of turnovers here today. 13 turnovers for Mercer. Collins gets it back, guarded now by Douglas. Senior from Raleigh, North Carolina. Inside for Locke, hands off, nice pass for Bennett. She can't get the layup to go. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Longest lead of the day for A&T. Up by 7. 16 on the shot clock. Go to Dorsey. Mismatch with Locke. Kicks it to the other side. Jessup inside Yarborough. Bobbles it. Locke takes it back. Shot clock off. Collins uses the pick. See if the Bears wait to take the final shot. See if they can go in to the fourth quarter with some momentum. Under 10. Collins driving against Dorsey. Double teamed. Bennett now. Gets inside and a nice move underneath the basket. And that'll bring us into the break. A well-run play and a good play from Bennett. She's now in double Bulldogs for North Carolina A&T. We apologize. We know it's Aggie the dog, an Aggie dog. Just got a little mixed in talking to everyone over on the communication side and stuff. So we do apologize. We want to give respect to North Carolina A&T and the Aggies as a whole, who right now are leading the way here 29-24, up by 5.
And we fixed it for the most pivotal moment, right?
Exactly.
10 minutes left, 5-point game.
And Aggie the dog isn't here, sadly, so I'd love to apologize to him in person, but didn't make the trip. Kicks inside for Locke. Lefty hook doesn't go.
And Locke trying to get more involved herself, just 2 players on her. Perhaps not the smartest decision, trailing 5. Need those high percentage shots as you go deep into this game.
Pull up. No good from Dorsey. Kicked inside. They're saying out of bounds. Paris did touch.
And a good play from Bennett there, was just outsized as Yarborough was down low, but Bennett just poking it free, and the rest of the chaos that happens has it going the Mercer Bears' way.
And now the Aggies out rebounding Mercer by 11. Smith kicks over for Collins. And Diarra gives it right back. Everyone getting a touch here for the Bears. Smith thought about the pull-up. Kicks it for Diarra from the corner. She's money. And I didn't see a 3 signal from the official. It's only 2.
Yeah, deep 2 there, but that's the looks that Mercer needs to be taking. North Carolina A&T sitting in this 2-3 zone. That 3-point line is going to be open. Have to take those shots. Diarra finally does and sinks it.
That's the first bucket for Diarra. As pull up from deep. Paris comes in. They have just rebounded so well. Going to the ball on every missed shot.
Yeah, like you said, just leading the battle by 10 now. And that's really the difference in this game. I mean, North Carolina A&T shooting 5% worse, have had more shots. And it's because of the rebound advantage, of course, their work on defense.
Locke having a slow day today. Just 3 points for her. Pass inside and a foul on the floor. Gonna go against Yarborough. Center from Maryland. Now Knoll comes back in, and Shania Clark will check in for Yarborough after that foul.
And still a big lineup out here for the Aggies. Clark 6'4", Curtis 6'1". Haven't called her name a lot, but she's been excellent on the boards and defensively. And of course, when Dorsey's on the court, you have a tall guard that can run the point.
Hit there, no good from the layup from Collins. Going down, Diarra with a nice layup. She's getting started late, but just in time. 4 points, and down by 1 are the Bears.
Yeah, great job running the floor there, picking up the steal, using her speed, something that's a specialty. And the reverse layup, a beautiful one.
7:15 on the clock, and we'll take a break. 4 points in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, coming into her own here. Slow start, like you mentioned. 5 turnovers in the first half. Since then, none. Really helping this team defensively. And of course, they're the high-effort play in transition.
Kicked outside Paris. Pull up. Dorsey in and out. Locke grabs it at the baseline and snagged up. Collins brings it up the floor. Both teams with 11 field goals made, 11 of 45 for A&M, 11 of 35 here for Mercer as a foul off ball. Jessup gets called for it.
Helps in the shot clock territory as it gets reset back up to 20 seconds. Mercer's had a little bit of trouble inbounding from under the net. Here gets it to Diarra. She'll go to work.
Missed shot there. Grabbed down by Clark. Up the floor, Douglas. Splits. Layup doesn't go. Ashley Locke brings down the board. She's only got 3 rebounds here today. It's been a low and slow day on the stat sheet for a low. She's got a matchup, though, right now. They got to go to her. Gets to the left hand and lays it in. Takes advantage of the mismatch.
She set the screen up top, spun down low, and it, like you said, a clear mismatch with Douglas on her. About a 6-inch height difference taken advantage of by Locke.
Collins marches up to the right and one. What a bucket! Mercer with the new lead, and Collins extends it there.
7-point run for Mercer, a chance to make it 8. It was all North Carolina A&T, and all of a sudden it's all Bears. Here you can see the hands of Locke swatting it away. Collins picks it up, uses her speed, runs the floor, and that is an excellent job of drawing contact. There is really no need to do it if you just want the 2, but she knows, hey, if I drive in here, cut in at the last second, I can get her on my back, pick up the foul, and pick up a chance at the 3-point play.
Overall, 2 very evenly matched teams in this one as Collins completes the 3-point play. She now has 7. Dorsey leads all scorers with 11 points. 6 boards to go with them. Jessup. Inside, nice find for Paris Locke.
And Locke has really been the Robin to Dorsey's Batman right now. An excellent job tonight. Has just found herself open, 4 for 9 now. 9 points in her total.
Bennett with the ball, a foul called away from the ball, and Clark confused on what it was, but she gets the foul.
And this has been a change from the first 3 quarters. We saw a lot of physicality down low between Clark and Locke. And now the whistle a little bit tighter as you get late in the game. The whistle's going to be blown easier. They're not allowing that physicality to pick up as much between Locke and Clark.
2-point game. Mercer now with the lead. Plenty of lead changes in this one. It's been back and forth the entire time. 6 to be exact. Locke gets to the baseline, steps, and she doesn't. It's a foul. She was heading towards the line. Clark was pushing her there, but she's called with another foul.
And that's that exact example of the whistle being a bit tighter.
Locke at the line, the senior from Georgia. Flowery Branch to be exact. First one doesn't go, a little short for Locke, who's 1 for 3 on the day.
And of course, it was a foul on the floor, but Mercer now in the bonus. They'll get 3 trips to the line for any whistle blown.
Not where A&T would love to be right now. Mercer with 0 fouls. And the Bears have really come back and had a great 4th quarter, up by 3.
And with the lead, the full court press, taking time out of the clock. Great decision here from head coach Clark Hurd.
A&T head coach Robinson giving orders. Dorsey going to it and 1. Jordan Dorsey. You go to your best player in big moments and she executes.
Yeah, great finish, crashing to the ground, almost a circus shot. You kind of just throw it up, hope it falls off the glass. Here you can see colliding with colliding with Smith, Locke, Collins, anyone that was nearby, taking her out. She's still able to finish and now tie the game up.
That one goes on a 3-point play, tied up 34-34. Collins on it. Pressure. Here, Jessup getting on the ball, double team. Bennett looking for the open, gets to Locke. Yarborough narrowly picked it off, almost stolen by Clark. Backdoor cut. Johnson, no good, but gets the foul.
That's one you got to make. Open the closeout last second, gets the foul, but Johnson will want that back 10 times out of 10. Locke, a mistake on this first pass, as you can see, receives it, almost gets picked off, but then a great pass down low, and Johnson's just got to finish that. Now she'll have a chance for two, as Yarborough just hard on the closeout, throwing the body.
Aspen Johnson gets the first.
Yara checking in here. That's going to be for the defensive presence. We've talked about her offense getting better as it goes on, but I expect Yara to work on these guards, especially Dorsey.
Down low for Yarborough. She's called on the travel. Mercer with a 2-point lead. They get the ball back.
And just shuffling the feet there after receiving the ball, trying to back down Locke. Just a mistake there. Trying to find some space instead. You can't be turning over possessions this late in the game. Both these teams known to be careless with the ball, but just an absolute scenario where you cannot do it.
Collins with it up top in a 2-point lead, trying to extend it to a 2-possession lead if they can. Ashley Locke, guarded by Clark Bennett. Collins goes to the left, a runner, and it's good. Extends the lead now to 4 points.
And that's Collins' shot. She knows on those runners how to finish with her short size, and maybe the best finish of the night.
Dorsey looked over to Robinson to see what to do. He said, just do your thing. Said, just go out, execute, it looked like. Gave her a nod. Dorsey pulls up from deep off the iron. Great offensive board from Curtis. Gets it right back to their star player in Dorsey. Under 3 minutes now. Curtis with the deep ball. Doesn't go. Jessup with the offensive board. Dominating the offensive glass here today. And just in general, 39 rebounds to 27. Curtis pulls up, short on the mid-range. Grabbing it now is Bennett, who gets called. And a foul going against Paris Locke.
And another chance at an offensive board. Locke diving for it hard. Commits the foul. And the reason for the offensive board is these balls kicking hard off the iron. This one, the front. And you can see a lot going for it. Just crashes into her partner, Locke. Ashley Locke on the other side. And that will draw the foul. Everyone okay, thankfully. But, of course, with that foul, Mercer doesn't just get the ball. They get a chance at 2 from the line.
So that sends Bennett to the line with a 4-point lead. Both teams doing well on timeouts. Haven't needed many breaks. As pulling up, Bennett there hits the first to extend the lead to 5. She's had a really good game. That's 11 points for her now as she tries to make it 12. 4 or 6 from the field, having a really good day. Hits the second. Stays perfect, 4 for 4 from the line. And that's when now these two teams are going to have a timeout to talk things over. And a 6-point lead for the Bears. A great fourth quarter. It was a 12-6 quarter for A&T in the third. And then in the fourth quarter, Mercer answers 16-5. They're on a 6-0 run right now.
Yeah, and those runs have been the difference. Started with one, and then, of course, the Aggies started to fight back a bit. Mercer stepping on the gas pedal again, and it's been a truly excellent job from the Mercer Bears late in this one. I think if you're a head coach, you're never going to be happy with 40, but in this one where your defense is swarming, pestering, and just choking the offense of the other team, you might be happy, and 40 might get you the win if the Bears can stay strong here.
Head coach Terrell Robinson, longtime head coach at his alma mater, graduated as an Aggie back in 2001. Kicking it around, Curtis in the paint. Great move, doesn't go. Locke grabs it down. 6-point lead still for the Bears. Diarra brings it in, kicks to the corner, and Smith passes up the three-point chance in the corner. Collins now, 2:10 to go. 15 on the shot clock here in the fourth quarter. Locke gets into the middle against Clark, but Bennett outside with Collins. Collins to the left hand, underneath with the right arm. Doesn't go, and then a jump ball as that's grabbed by Dorsey against Locke, and it's going to be A&T ball at the baseline.
Yeah, the arrow going A&T's way, and that tie-up very important as they'll get the ball back, and someone's got to force some pressure on Dorsey in the ball.
Pushed inside. Goes out Clark. Douglas goes into the paint, loses the ball, intercepted and taken away. Collins running the floor. Smith lays it in for an 8-point lead. Mercer, all the momentum with 93 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. And Smith gets the layup.
What a play down low. It looked like Douglas would have the easy finish. The quick hands. Collins, a great move. Not sure how she doesn't get the ball stripped there. And then the drop pass. Smith gets rewarded for running the floor. An excellent job from this Bears team as a whole. And now with just 93 seconds remaining, 8-point lead. Mercer, all they need to do is get possession of the ball and try and drain some clock. A couple good defensive possessions, and they'll be sleeping well tonight.
Mercer has just done such a good job down the stretch in this game. Overall in the fourth quarter, 18-5 over A&T. They're holding the Aggies to a drought of 3 minutes right now, and they're on an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Just dominating the final stretch to come away, hopefully, with a win if you're a Bears fan and go to 500. The Aggies trying to come back in the last minute 25 to get their first win of the season. And here on the road from the corner, Douglas from deep. Diarra grabs the board quickly to the other end of the floor. Pulls it back. They're calling her on a travel. Says she moved.
And that's just a mistake from Diarra. No reason to run the floor like that. Get down in your half, your offensive part, and slow down. You could have wasted 30 seconds. Instead, the travel keeps A&T in this one.
To the top, rogue pass almost for Dorsey, and it wasn't tipped. So that's over and back, and they give the ball back to the Bears with a minute left.
And that could be the game right there. That turnover could do it. 60 seconds left. There'll be 30 seconds on the shot clock for the Bears. It's going to be hard to climb back in this one if you're North Carolina A&T.
Full timeout, Mercer.
So an 8-point lead here with a minute to play in the fourth quarter. Mercer has come out and stolen this lead from Jordan Dorsey and the Aggies. See Coach Clark Hurd talking with her assistants before addressing the team. Michael Morgan, Blessings Freeman, Elizabeth Metris. So you look at her resume. Named head coach back in March at Mississippi State. Set time at Kentucky State and Western Kentucky, where she went to school there and was a very successful player.
Yeah, great down low in her career, and she's brought that IQ of playing in the paint. We've seen it throughout this game. Mercer not taking too many three-point shots. That's their game. They play very much like she did back in the day. And, of course, had much success coaching her alma mater at Western Kentucky to 4 NCAA appearances. So a well-rounded head coach. Some final words for her team as they try and close out these last 59 seconds.
They'll get the ball to inbound near the bench. The Diarra on the ball. Leading the way is Bennett with 12 points. It's on the floor with Locke, Smith, and Collins. Dorsey has Paris Locke with her. as it looks like officials discussing with Coach Clark Hurd. And now we'll get this started. Minute left. They go back to Collins. Fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock. Double team comes. They got to get it over halfway. They do. Smith gives it back for Collins. Gets swarmed trying to get away, and they call the foul. Collins heads to the line for two.
Yeah, and that was a great play design out of the inbound. Get Collins in the backcourt, your most creative dribbler and passer. And then eventually when she receives the ball back, gets fouled. Collins, very good at free throws, although limited attempts this season.
Collins from College Station, Texas, but started her career at Incarnate Word as she extends the lead. Now a 10-point lead for the Bears, another timeout. And obviously basketball, a crazy game. And Coach Robinson knows it's not time to give up here as he's coached the Aggies for 13 seasons, 4 MEAC regular season titles, and he's been doing it since 2016 and also played his college career. He's A&T through and through.
Yeah, and he's had tons of success, as mentioned. I mean, he's returning a 22-win squad. This squad won 22 games last season, and they, of course, won a couple games in the NIT last season. So it's a very successful team in which he's returning all 5 starters and 3 other letter winners. I mean, I'm sure he would want a better outcome than what seems likely today, but he knows that this team can rebound after an 0-4 start if they do drop there and have a successful season. He has been extremely successful at North Carolina A&T, and he's gotten looks from other schools, and I think every time he says, hey, I was really just grown here, this has been where I'm at, I'm going to stay here and have success here.
Very much a sense of doesn't want to be anywhere else and is happy being at his alma mater because, 13 years and the amount of success he's seen, you're going to get looks for bigger jobs, but has stayed very loyal to his Aggie roots. Joined by Siobhan Earp in her 9th season on the staff, and then Kelly Mathis and Chris Dunn, both in their first years with Coach Robinson. Douglas to the corner. Goes back. She's got to take the 3. They need to catch up. Dorsey takes it back. Bobbled. Curtis gets it. She's fouled with 36 seconds on the clock by Diarra, but that's only the 2nd foul for the Bears.
Yeah, they'll have to inbound again and draw up another play. It was a good-looking play. Mercer collapsed on Dorsey in the corner. It left open a 3. Just couldn't get it to fall. We'll see if they have another one in their bag, if the Aggies can try and convert and get points flowing here.
On the near side baseline. Drying up the court before a crucial play here for North Carolina A&T, trying to keep their hopes alive for that first win of the season. Dorsey hasn't had the lights out game she's used to, but an off day is 14-8 as that's from the corner, no good. Grabbed by Paris Locke, who rips it away and puts it up, draws the foul.
Physicality there from Locke earns her a trip to the line, and right now you're just hoping this develops into something if you're the Aggies, but this one's all but over after the 2 missed 3s. If one of those had fallen, you could get a steal at the inbound, maybe you have something. Now you would likely have to draw up a miss here on the 2nd shot, even for a chance.
Locke at the line. Hits the first to bring it back to a single-digit lead for the Bears. Good free throw shooter overall, and she nails both. Ashley Locke comes back in. 26 seconds left. 2 timeouts for Mercer, 1 for A&T, and we'll see what they decide to do here. Get it to Collins. Double team trying to cause the turnover. Get it to Locke. Take some contact. Back for Collins. Need to get it over. They do. is now with 15 seconds left. Shot clock is off, and Collins can try and play keep away to get to the end of this game, and Douglas does foul to send her back to the line.
And a great play there. I don't love sending your point guard to the corner, easily trapped, but a good drop pass to the inbounder. They're able to break the press and get over half court. Now Collins just sending us away with these 2 free throws.
Yeah, breathing a sigh of relief when she got caught in the double team in the corner. Hits the first now, has 12 points, tied for the team lead and game lead with Ariana Bennett. Junior guard hits the second as well, and that's going to bring up another timeout for the Aggies, down by 10 with 10 seconds left, and the Bears just need to execute, play good defense, and they can come away with their second win of the season.
Yeah, and I would love to tell you what the huddle for the Aggies is saying, but I'm unsure. A 10-point differential in the last 10 seconds. Can't really draw up a way to win, but what you can do is focus on late game issues that you can fix in the future. Of course, sometime during your season, you're going to have 10 seconds where you need a bucket. And that's what is happening right here in their huddle. Coach Robinson is saying, hey, we have 10 seconds. We might as well execute on this in a real game setting, try and get ourselves a bucket so we can work on it later in the season.
When you get to these points, that's really what it becomes, is trying to get better. You get better throughout a season. You see it with so many teams. And it's funny, Joe, because at the beginning of the season, you make so many assumptions and takes when a team's 1-2, 0-3, 0-4, and then you get to the NCAA tournament and a 6 seed's at the Final Four. So anything can happen, and any team can improve throughout the season and overcome what is a slow start, and trying to use moments like this to just get better. And for the Bears, use this as a learning experience. Didn't take great care of the ball early and put themselves in a hole, as Dorsey with a nice one off the glass. 1 second left. And credit to A&T, have kept fighting the whole entire way, and it ends up being a win for Mercer, 46-38. A&T had it in the third quarter, but Mercer put together a great final frame, Joe, to get the win here.
Yeah, an excellent job in that fourth quarter, led by Collins. We mentioned coming off the bench. An everyday starter, usually started the past 3 games. This time leads the guards off the bench, and really it was her job in the fourth quarter. Made some excellent free throws, went 5 for 5 from the line to close the game out, and of course led defensively. You don't imagine a 5'5" guard as this defensive presence, but just swarming the other guards, really on her back. Locke not having the best of games, and the bench and Bennett, Collins making up the difference, leading to a win to the Bears.
Bears now go to 2-2. North Carolina A&T dropping now to 0-4 on the season. Leading the way today, Ariana Bennett with 12 points, but Collins, those last free throws get her to 13 to lead the game in points. Also added on 3 assists. Bennett had 5 rebounds. It was a slow one for Ashley Locke, but they got other players to step up around her.
Yeah, Bennett and Locke, that duo, and Bennett had to take the brunt of the work today, and she did down low. And even though it was a slow day for Locke, still leading the team in point differential. When she was on the floor, the team was better. Obviously, a defensive presence, 2 steals for her, a couple blocks as well, 4 combined. So an excellent performance defensively. But like you said, Bennett, Diarra, Johnson, Harris, Collins, all doing their role, all playing their part, and helping this team have a complete victory. And as we mentioned, it's not often you can score 40 and win. The defense with an excellent job, as we'll have the player of the game over on the sideline here.
Yeah, about a